Right, Billy, you have been with us now. How long have you been with Alpha Capital Group now?
Best part of 2 years, mate.
2 years.
Yeah,
And everyone knows you in the Discord as William.
William.
And it's been a good journey, hasn't it?
Yeah,
You-
amazing, mate. Yeah, and I mean,
from you coming in and then moving up to Newcastle, we shifted you up there. But I think what I wanted to do this for is because I'm very passionate, as you know, and as a lot of people will know now in the Discord about, young lads or lasses, or girls, boys or girls, as you know, lasses it's a Newcastle term, you know that now. That want to get on in life, might not have the best education, might not have the best background, might not have the best upbringing, but they want to get on in life. So I'm a very big advocate of that. I'm a very big advocate of, mental health as well and the impact of that. But I think your story really touched me. Why I brought you on the team was because it's one of those whereby there's so many people out there. Trading's not an easy game, right? It's a very lonely game unless you're going to go and be an investment banker, which every family member wants for their children, a big job in the city, good money. But pursuing something you love to do, whether that's content creation, which I know you like to do, or whether that's trading, I see it all the time in the Discord. A lot of people, they get a lot of stick from parents, family. You shouldn't do this. I've just seen one recently, not name any names, but it's quite a popular story throughout Alpha Cap. There's one young lad that, it's really knocked him for six because his dad doesn't want him trading. He's kicked him out the house. He thinks it's terrible. And that's kind of what happened to you, right?
yeah, I mean, it's too common. It's far too common. A lot of traders experience this setting with the family and the friends and people just telling them to not do it and not start. And especially for me, like you said before, parents want them to be investment bankers and go to university and do all this stuff. But for me, education was never anything I was ever good at. I was always really bad at school, always in fights, getting kicked out. I was never good at education. I came out of school with next to nothing. Okay. Now, luckily, coming out of school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I come from a well-off background with my family. My dad is very successful and he owns a huge business in Doncaster, where I'm from. And he did give me that opportunity to work. Now, that is where I started getting ambition for working and money and stuff like that. And then I actually started my own business straight off the bat. I was doing e-commerce stores. And that gave me my first taste for online money, making money from my phone. And I realised I was working really hard in a warehouse, making nowhere near as much money as I was making in a few hours on my phone. And that was the first taste for me of there's more out there. And that's where the waves got choppy with me and my dad, because he's built this huge company. And I can imagine as a dad, he's got two sons. One of my brother, he's very successful in his music industry. He wasn't interested in the family business. So as soon as I started losing interest, that's where the waves got choppy and the relationship started getting tough, because he didn't understand the phones. And that's the case with most parents. They're so old school, they don't understand, you can make money from your phone nowadays, especially in trading, because they all see that you've got to go to university, you've got to be in a bank, you've got to be on a trading floor to actually do this. It's completely different nowadays. And that was what was tough. And then, so when I started saying I wanted to be a trader, it got really tough. And then eventually it wasn't working living with my dad anymore. And he said, you've got two options. You either come and work for me, or you carry on, you're doing your trading and you leave. And I said,
leave
right.
What, your house?
The house. He said.
How old are you when that?
I was 18, just turned 18. And it was, I put it a lot down to my own stubbornness, but I believed in myself and I believed what this opportunity I had was. And I thought, I'm doing it. I'm leaving. I believe in this more than anything than I've ever believed in. But the argument came back to, you're not smart enough to be a trader. You've got no GCSEs, you've got no qualification, you've never been to college, you've never been to uni. You want to be a trader? What? Never was it just didn't make sense to him. But I knew I could do it because of the opportunities that Alpha Capital brings. The prop firms and stuff, they give everyone that chance. And I believed in it. So I left and I went and stopped and lived with a friend for months. And thank God that friend was really helpful and their family was helpful. and letting me do that and chase that dream. You know, I was still working. I was riding a push bike for Domino's.
I remember that.
You remember that?
There's a video on your TikTok of you and your push bike. I think I saw that video, didn't I? That's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
reached out to you, yeah.
So electric push bike, delivering pizzas, trading in the morning. That was me. And then, you know, one night by chance, I managed to speak to my idol at the time, TGR Trades. Really looked up to him, and he was live on TikTok because I was watching my brother, who's a singer-songwriter, who's live on TikTok, and I accidentally swiped off his live, and so happens TGR was live. So I went to send him a rose, and I accidentally requested to join his live stream, and he accepted it. Instantly, I panicked, I freaked out. I was going live with this guy who I'd proper looked up to. So I just started spilling all my story on him, and luckily my friend was filming the full thing. And when I'd started going through trading, I'm very dyslexic, so writing was never good, journaling was never good, but I heard journaling is good, but I could not write. So I made these videos, and I had no intention of these videos going anywhere, simply diary entries. And then those diary entries became content, and I managed to use the videos along with the conversation I had with TGR to make a story. And that story managed to get itself to you.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And hands down,
I think it was the push bike that got to me. Your Domino's with your little pig cap.
yeah, I mean, changed my life, mate. And that's what you've done for me.
Yeah.
You've changed my life, mate, honestly.
No, but I think also, you know, the whole point of me doing this and having to sit down with you, because, you know, we got 75 staff. I could sit down with any member of staff, but what I loved to see was, you know, yes, okay, you've cut. First of all, you can trade. We're not saying that you're the world's best trader,
No.
but you have had payouts when you used to trade with Alpha. You did well. Obviously, you can't trade with Alpha anymore because you're a member of staff. But, you know, you did do well for a long time in doing that. But for me, it's like, you know, for other people, I want to bring this on to let them know that you can follow your dreams.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, okay, we picked you up and I saw you and I brought you in and give you a job, and now you're doing really well in the company. I can trust you, I can rely on you. I know you're only young, but you're doing really well. You're here, you help me with the content staff, you're helping me with the support staff, you help me with the trust pilot, the prop firm match stuff. It's been brilliant. But I think for me, it's just to recognise that, you know, you did get to working with us and doing your trading, but the only reason you did that is because you did let go and actually try to follow your dream. And you didn't know what that was going to look like. No. I think there's so many people there, and I've seen it. And I'm not saying, you know, there's obviously an educated way of doing stuff, right? But there's so many people, so many family members, which unfortunately is normally the main thing. It's the family, not even the friends, the family, the people closest to you that tell you you're never going to amount to something in your preferred profession, which, you know, who are them to say that? You know, I think everyone should be able to know that. Go and have a crack at it. You know, when you're young, you know, people always say you can fail delicately. You know, when you're 18, 19, and you want to pursue and follow something, there should be no reason, you know, why anyone should tell anyone that you can't do it. You should have a go, because the more stuff you have a go at, the more stuff you realise that you might realise, oh, this isn't for me. Yeah. But wouldn't that be a great story from 18 to 20, 18 to 21? It's not for you. Great, I'll go back to university, go back to college and do whatever I want.
Thing for me that scared me is always thinking, well, what if I didn't even try? And then 5 years down the line,
yeah, of course,
you're thinking, what if I did stick that out? Because I've done that with a few things. You know,
I
had a scholarship in American football at one of the best academies in the UK, and I dropped that. And I still wonder today, what if I'd have carried that on? And I knew that I'd made that many mistakes on that. It wasn't going to be a case of I did that again. That's the same for everyone. Everyone needs to give it a go, because you don't want to regret not trying at all. And yeah, for so many people, I think you get family members and the people close to you, which is really harmful, because you tend to listen to them people more.
Well, you lean on them. As a young lad with no real, with all respect, no real life experience.
No, 100%.
You know, you're trying to look up to the people that are closest to you to give you their advice. But I know myself that sometimes they can be the worst people.
100%.
And sometimes it's the strangers, like we were to you, they say, come on, you can do this, get up and get going. But I think, in your opinion, like, what would you say to, there'll be people watching this now, and we see it all the time in Discord, that are ready to quit on their trading dreams, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them to keep on going? What would you say the main things are to do?
So,
because you're 2 years in now. 2 years ago, you weren't in a very good place, were you?
No,
mentally,
no.
You were shattered, and you've been built up, and you're doing well, really well.
Look, like, you've got to just understand that there's going to be so many people that don't want to see you win. Now, that's not a bad thing, because a wise man once told me, Alex, it's not a bad thing to make other people feel uncomfortable. And that is why people will tell you to stop, because people don't want to see you win. They get jealous, and it makes them feel uncomfortable, because then they realise, they reflect on themselves that, potentially they should be doing more. And that makes them feel uncomfortable. So they will tell you why you should quit, because they don't want to see you win. And for me, it's about just blocking out the noise. Go tunnel vision. Focus on what you want, and do not stop working till you get it. Even now, I get, obviously, every time you hit a goal, you get another one. And even to this day, I've not stopped working any harder from that day I got kicked out. Even for Alpha Capital Group, Alex knows. There's times in that the office I was in at 5, I'm there till 10. The other night,
You are, yeah.
There's been times I've slept in the office, because there's been that much I've got to do, or there's stuff where I'm thinking this needs sorting, and I need it sorting now, because I'm very much someone who, and this would be my advice for anyone. There's a lot of gunners out there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start next week. All that. You want to just take action there and then, because then you can focus on the next goal and get that next milestone.
You're right in saying that. And I've always said as well, for the people that are watching this, that maybe in your position, which is a younger guy wanting to do something, but worried about what the parents will think, what their friends will think. But you can't half. There's a great motivational video I like to watch with Matthew McConaughey, the actor. And he says you can't half-ass it in America, or you can't half-ass it. Like, if you're in, you need to be all in.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point. And that could be, like I say, if you've got to study, revise, understand the markets, read from 8 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, then so be it. If that's your choosing profession that you're going to commit to, which for you, I think things have changed a lot, because you're actually enjoying working within Alpha.
Yeah.
And you're not relying on trading all the time,
no.
But you just stepping into that arena, saying, this is the space I want to be in. It's funny where you start fishing in the ponds you want to be in, you get picked up by people. They go, all right, you're interested in this game. You don't just have to be a trader. You can go and do some work here as well, which is massively important. But what do you, I think, we could go on and on for ages talking about this, but the whole reason of doing this little short video is for people to understand out there that you can chase a dream, and you can try. And dreams don't have to be the world's biggest dreams. Everyone's dreams are different. Yours was, you didn't like the direction of your life was going. You wanted to be in the space. You wanted to commit to it. You do trade, and you're in the space for really now. And people can go and not have to listen to their family and parents if they want to go and do so. Always take advice. I mean, my mum just rang me before. Yeah. I'm 33. I still get advice from her, But if someone hasn't done it before, then don't always listen to that. If you're interested in something, follow what you're interested in.
Absolutely. So just tunnel out for everyone else. Don't listen to anyone, and understand that if you don't quit, you can't fail.
No, that's true.
It's as simple as that. You work hard, and like I said, do not listen to the people around you, because no one can see your vision. You can see your vision. You can see your dream. No one else can see that apart from you. So don't listen to other people's opinion, because it does not matter. If you are focused on something and you want something,
But you've got to love it, though.
Yeah, you've got to love it.
It has to be something.
Yeah.
Like, I've always said this with trading, right? And the people that are good, or the people that want to follow that, it can't just be about the money.
No.
If it's about the money, it's not really going to work. You might get lucky a few times, but if you want to actually build a career in this, go down this path and work within the prop space, or work within any space that you choose to do, it has to be full commitment.
There's got to be full passion there, because there's got to be hours you've got to put in, especially in the trading game. You've got to work for free for so long. And there was days I would spend 12 hours a day back testing when I first started. Now that's just educating myself. That's not making any money. And then there's the whole psychology side. You've got to learn all that. That's a massive thing. you know, and you will fail so much before you start winning. But the biggest advice I can give to anyone who's starting out to trade is don't tell a soul. That's the biggest mistake I made. And that is something you now, with all these people that are sharing the story like mine, you know, you're starting to see when I interview traders, a lot of them say, I don't tell anyone, I don't talk to anyone. And it's the best thing that they've done because it helps psychology massively. You don't face these issues. You know, when you start winning, there'll be signs that you're winning. And then you can start to tell people because there's no denying it. But like I say, for anyone who has a dream out there and wants to chase it, it is simply is just going for it and not giving up and putting everything in it, working non-stop, working for free. You know, you've got to understand, if you're in this for money, there is 1,000 different things to do to make quicker, easier money than trading.
Yeah, I understand.
You've got to love trading, and I loved it. I was so in love with it. I would, like I say, back testing for hours and hours a day just because I loved to see how them charts move and loved wanting to be a trader. And yeah, that's you've got to have passion. That's the first thing. But yeah, just you can't quit and you can't listen to people around you because, like I say, no one knows your vision apart from yourself, and it's as simple as that.
And to finish off before we jump off, because we've been talking 10, 15 minutes now, people should get your story, but more importantly, get their own story. If they're struggling with something, understand that, you know, they're not the first people that have this, you know, tension with family members or tension with friends when they're trying to follow their dreams. But give me the two best things about working for Alpha Capital Group.
Two best things about working for Alpha Capital Group. That's a good question. I've got to be honest, the office it's like a family like no other. And I say family because every lad in there, they're not my colleagues, they're my brothers. And, you know, we say that all the time, and I genuinely mean it. There is nothing I wouldn't do for anyone in that office.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
And, you know,
vice versa, I think.
It goes, yeah. There's
a good team.
It's the best team in the world, mate. And I've never had anything like it. Like, I genuinely feel like there's nothing I couldn't ask off one of them. And same for me, if they could come for me for anything.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I lived with Harry for 6 months. He's my brother. I woke up with him every day, you know what I mean? Like,
you sleep in the same bed as him.
Not quite, but mate,
bed.
like, it's the team in there.
Yeah, great,
there's nothing to explain how much them boys mean to me.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, honestly, like, every single one of them will be my wedding one day. And I mean that. Like, I love them to pieces. And that is the main thing about Alpha Capital Group. The lads in that office and you. Like, you've done... I can't even put words into what you've done for me, mate. You know how much you mean to me.
No, it's good. It's good.
I mean that. The other one is Alpha pays very well.
Don't say that, mate. People will be asking me for a pay rise. But listen, if you put the work in, we'll always make sure that our staff are looked after. So you can build a life, and that's what we're trying to do.
On a serious note, so the other thing is with Alpha, there's so much progression. Work as hard as you can. It will be recognised. I promise you, it will be recognised.
There's always progression with hard workers, and I think it's like anything. You always get out what you put in.
Yeah.
And like Matthew McConaughey says, you can't half-arse it.
No.
And if you don't half-arse it, you'll be appreciated. And there's always jobs going at Alpha Cap. So if anyone's heard Billy's story today and, you know, is struggling, Billy, you're in the Discord. William
Drop me a message.
My DMs have got about 9 million people in, so I might not see it. But drop Billy a message, and there might be a role there for someone that might need it.
Join the family. No, it's the best team in the world, and we're going to take over this space. I'm telling you.